Pretty Little Liars, the TV show, sometimes deals with disturbing and problematic topics. We provided a list of content warnings in the episode description.
Hello and welcome to Dead Ends. I'm Emily.
I'm Brenton.
And today we have 2 episodes of Pretty Little Liars for you, the first of which being the mid-season finale.
I know. We welcome you all to Camp Mona.
Camp Mona. Okay, honestly, can we theme my 30th birthday party Camp Mona?
Yeah, absolutely.
We can
Camp Mona is fantastic.
You get a blowout.
Uh-huh.
You get a massage. There's s'mores. It's glamping. I would go to Camp Mona.
I absolutely would go to Camp Mona. I've never gotten a blowout. I've never had a mani-pedi, but I totally would. Think about if you got invited to this when you were in high school and you're like, oh my God, it's just going to be a bunch of my friends and we're going to be at camping in the woods with
glamping with amenities,
with drinks and food. Hell yeah. Best birthday party ever.
Yeah. Would you?
And nothing else happens this episode.
What would you have gotten Mona for her birthday?
Oh, crap.
Yeah, you going to Camp Mona, you better get her a nice gift.
Yeah, that'd be hard.
A designer scarf, a nice pair of sunglasses.
Damn. I wouldn't have thought of scarf, but she was getting a scarf in the very first episode, stealing a scarf. But that's a good one. It would have to be maybe I don't know. If you got a purse, it would have to be really nice. You wouldn't be able to afford it. I don't know. Maybe something from the perfume counter. Yeah, probably. I'd go with that. We're gonna go with that. Get a recommendation from the perfume counter and get that.
The perfume.
The perfume counter.
Don't most perfumes make you sneeze?
Yes, but it's for Mona.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think Mona and I would have been close. I would have been on the invite list, maybe. And then, so that is just a transaction for me being there.
Would I have been friends with Mona?
Yes. She would have been maybe not Hannah, but she would have been friends with you.
What can I say?
Mm-hmm.
I'm rather endearing.
Yeah, you wouldn't be like this.
Well, I'm also
but she would, because you would call her on her shit. She'd be like, okay.
I'm not intimidated easily.
Uh-huh. I will not deal with your crap, Mona.
Mona, get your shit together.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Okay, well, keep your friends close and your Mona's closer.
That's right. The mid-season finale.
Episode 10. So I think the series ended this episode aired in September. I want to say it was September 10th of 2010, something like that. Either August or September. I want to say it's September. And then it didn't come back. So then episode 11, I'm sorry, isn't until January.
Yeah.
Which I think the show does this often. It started in summer and does that. And that's why in later seasons we get Halloween episodes. And in one season we get a web series filler for that time that doesn't have the main girls in it though. And I haven't watched that. I don't know if we will or not.
Yeah, we could.
We can, but so I think that that's to fill that time in later seasons. But at this time, I mean, I guess it is better than waiting 3 years for The Witcher or Euphoria.
Uh-huh.
I don't remember what happened in season 1 of The Witcher when we watched season 2.
Mm-hmm.
And then by the time I remembered, season 2 was over, and I was like, I'm never gonna know when season 3 comes out. I need to just wait until they're all here.
Mm-hmm.
It's I didn't start watching Game of Thrones until the Red Wedding. And so then I got caught up.
Right.
Because I tried watching it at the very beginning with my stepdad, but they killed the dog. And I was like, well...
Oh, the wolf.
Yeah, they killed Sansa's dog. They killed Lady.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
I was like, I don't remember a dog.
We're not watching this show. And then I was like, oh, well, I did this episode where everyone died. So I guess I should go back and learn who these people are.
But yeah, the time in between picking up the season, still a long time, 4 months.
Yeah.
And especially where it's a cliffhanger.
Uh-huh. It's a good cliffhanger too.
Yeah, definitely.
I
know who it is. Everybody come. And then she can't do it.
Uh-huh.
Good stuff.
It's good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so are you ready to dig into this?
I'm ready.
I will say, so we were watching my DVDs, but the picture quality on this episode and the DVD, something happened where like everything was yellow.
Yeah, the picture was very warm.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like washed out.
Oversaturated.
Yeah.
And so we switched over to HBO where the clarity is much better.
Exactly. You know, pulling from, oh wait, no, I don't think there was like a Blu-ray set. So some HD upscaling, but you know, we still got the DVDs for any behind the scenes stuff.
Yeah, it also might have been like when it was on TV, it was a better quality than what the DVDs have on it. I don't know if that's a thing.
I wouldn't think so.
I don't know how DVDs work.
Yeah, it might have been. I don't think it 2010. And I don't know enough to know if it was I mean, Blu-rays were around, so maybe.
I don't know.
All right. But
keep your friends close.
Episode 10? Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right.
I didn't know where you were going with it.
Open on the school. The friends gather in the hall and see Ian, and they say he's the new field hockey coach. We didn't put together until episode 11 that he was the women's field hockey coach. More on that later. Spencer tells them all that Ian broke up with Melissa, not the other way around. Mona then arrives and hands out an invitation to her birthday party, Camp Mona.
They're very nice invitations.
Extremely nice invitations.
Nicer than the ones for our wedding, I'm assuming.
Yeah, by far. Hannah, Spencer wonders why they're all invited, and Hannah's like, well, she's just trying to be nice. And they're all like, we don't believe you. Spencer, Aria, and Emily are all like, well, I'm busy. I've got like, you know, that thing. We can't go. But then all their phones go off with the text from A that says, Camp Mona's a scavenger hunt, and I'm the prize. Come and find me, bitches. Ashley is on the phone, annoyed with a bot. And like having some sort of trouble like communicating to the bot what she needs.
The phone tree.
Yeah. Hannah asks if she's all right, and Ashley cryptically says she's handling it. Hannah redials the phone and realizes that it's the mortgage company, and an automated message says their account is foreclosed due to non-payment. Mona comes in and invites Hannah to lunch for her birthday. Ashley says,
she commands Hannah to lunch for her birthday.
Yeah, right. Hannah's like, well, no, I don't want to ditch. And Mona's like, are we still even friends? And refers, it's like, you'd rather be hanging out with the others. Hannah says she's her friend. Like, don't worry about that. And that things are just tight around the house. Ashley, who is listening around the corner, then interrupts them and offers Hannah her last $100 bill. Even the rich go broke in style. Aria is grabbing laundry in the house, and Byron said he was going to get that. It's just things are out of control, and dumps on his daughter. Byron said that they may all have to start pitching in, and Aria asks if
Ella doing all of the housework?
Probably.
My God.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I'd leave too. You know what? Actually, she got a good deal. She's gonna live by herself in the studio above her art place and do some art and.
Well, it sounds like
maybe
she
work
wasn't
at the school
doing any art, really.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, she was just being full-time mom. Byron asks Aria if she's still going out to lunch with Ella, and he's like, hey, is it okay if I come along? And Aria's like, well, why don't you ask her? And then Aria's like, well, what's stopping you from coming? And he's like, well, your mother said she needed space. And Aria's like, she moved out. How much space does she need? Don't be obtuse. Melissa walks in the kitchen and greets Spencer and pours her juice all nicely. Spencer's like, why are you being nice to me? And Melissa asks why Spencer didn't tell her that Ian was back. Ian had reached out to Melissa and asked her out to coffee, but Melissa said no because he broke her heart and she's still getting over Ren. Spencer then has a flashback to practicing field hockey in her lawn with Ian, and Ian comes behind her like he's teaching her a golf swing, but then gets like really close on her and kisses her
on the back of the neck.
Yeah. And Spencer turns around, looks at him shocked, and then makes out with him. Ian
which is like, you know what I love? I love when a man who kisses teenagers gets a job at a high school.
Bad. Ian says, we don't even know how bad it is yet.
We don't talk about Bruno. That's all that's happening in my head.
Ian then does finger guns and says, see you on the field, Ace. He just says, see you on the field, and walks away. Allie then appears behind Spencer and says, gross. Spencer's like, how much did you see? And Allie's like, enough to see that you were making out with that gross older dude. That's Melissa's boyfriend. Spencer said, well, it's like, I wasn't into it. And Allie said, you better not be, or else you're a skank. Brutal.
Allie, who had the older boy, but.
Uh-huh. Well,
Mm-hmm.
oh, now it's piecing things together. Of course, I didn't realize at the time because we didn't have the information, but it's like, okay. Falling into place here. All right. Noel mentions to Aria that Camp Mona is a girls' only party, and damn, that sucks. I wanted to spend time with you. But then they agree to hang out over the weekend as Fitz watches them kiss. Across the way.
You know what I love
Noel
doing is like
away and then goes over to his besties and bumps chest like, yeah, just kiss my girl, bro.
Well, they had to go talk to coach.
Oh, right. They had to go talk to coach.
For whatever the sport they do.
Dribble or pass or.
Yeah, throw.
Mm-hmm.
Touchdown.
Yeah.
What I love too is like, you know what I always did when I made out with my high school boyfriends was made eye contact with my English teacher.
Aria then walks by Fitz and he asks if Noel plays football. And Aria's like, he's actually super smart and funny. And Fitz is like, you're okay. You're entitled to be with whoever you want to be with, even if it's some dumb football player. I wasn't saying that. You were.
I mean, it's not like he's age appropriate or anything.
Exactly. Police are then at the school, not for Fitz, and say they found something of Alison's. And the four friends get called to the principal's office. Hannah texts Mona from the principal's office saying that she's stuck at school, and Mona, ever aggressive, just texts back, screw you. New agent walks in, Agent Cooper. A nod to Twin Peaks. And hands Spencer her FBI card.
Only Spencer.
Only Spencer. I see you're in charge here. I mean,
this one's mom's a lawyer, so I better give her the card.
You know, that's fair. They show the friends a video of Allie, which is the video that we saw last week.
So they got permission from Allie's parents to show them this video of Allie. But did they get permission from the girls' parents to show them the video of Allie?
Alone.
Yeah. Well, and also, like...
And ask questions.
They're minors.
Yeah. But they're the FBI, you know. This is top brass.
Yeah, but that's our dead friend.
I know. In the video, she's speaking to someone, like, across the camera. And teasing them, saying if the friends knew they were dating, it'd be a big thing. And then says the line that we all know: "I know you want to kiss me.
I know you want to kiss me."
FBI pauses the Agent Cooper pauses the video. Oh, sorry, no. Allie mentions that she doesn't have much time left, and they'll be waking up soon. Then Agent Cooper pauses the video and asks the friends what they can tell her about it. Emily mentioned that she's at the Kissing Rock from the lake. Aria says that it was the night she disappeared because she was wearing the same top. Hannah says it's not Allie's sweater, and I would know that because I'm a clothes savant. Spencer says,
also, it's like not her size.
Right, but Hannah's justification is, I know clothes.
I know everything in Allie's closet.
Yeah, and also says I know clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Spencer says she must be talking to an older boy, and that this older boy was a secret. Cooper then clues in that Allie likes secrets, and Emily mentions the phrase that Allie said about secrets keeping them close.
Mm-hmm.
And Agent Cooper then says secrets are actually made to be found out. Ashley is on the phone asking for another extension while she's at work. Ashley is at work on the phone asking for another extension and pleads with the operator, and they say no, and then they end the call.
You know what I wrote for this? Money is stupid.
It is stupid.
But like that's what I wrote. Like that's not helpful, Emily. Did you think you'd remember that?
It's a good note for it.
Money's stupid.
Money. Mrs. Potter, who's Ashley's client, comes in to view her safety deposit box and stash literal shit tons of cash.
Because her sister died?
Yeah. And so just has these like giant bills. You know, I respect this woman just bringing in cash rather than just being like, I would like to deposit this check. My sister died and I ended up with all these bills. Noel approaches Aria to ask about the office call and why were you called up to the principal's office? Aria then opens up her locker and a book falls out. Noel picks it up and reads a sticky note on it. He's like, read page 22, signed by A. I wonder what that means. He opens it up and it's a poem titled B26 by Ezra Fitz. And Aria then freaks out, grabs the book, runs off.
Mm-hmm.
Mrs. Potter grabs all of the butterscotch candies off of Ashley's desks and accidentally leaves her safety deposit key as she leaves. A random girl then at school approaches Hannah and asks her for the name of her liposuction doctor. Hannah is weirded out and leaves, and Hannah then approaches Mona to apologize for missing out on the lunch. Mona said she got a text from A saying Hannah got liposuction last summer when they were dieting together, and is really pissed about it. Mona uninvites her to the party and says they are no longer friends, and then Mona's 2 new tag-alongs leave with her. Emily and Spencer ask Hannah what happened. Hannah says it doesn't really matter. Emily says they won't go to the party in solidarity, and Hannah's like, hell no, they're all going to the party. Aria reads the poetry book alone and cries. She then goes to see Fitz about the poem, and Aria asks how he could feel those feelings in the poem and write that up, and then just give up on their relationship. Fitz says he was doing it for the right reason, and Aria said he was only doing it to protect himself.
Would you like to read the poem?
Aria said, yeah. I'll just finish this.
Yeah, go ahead.
Aria said, it wasn't my age that ruined this relationship. You did, Fitz. Aria says, we're done. And Noel walks in and asks, hey, what's happening here? And Aria says, nothing at all, and walks away. And Noel stares down Fitz, and Fitz asks if he has something to say to him, like a normal teacher. And then Noel walks away, and Fitz angrily throws the poetry book across the classroom. B26 by Ezra Fitz. It's a number. It's a song. It's a girl. Congratulations. Smooth. Pearl Joy packed. Gold falafel. As through ice. It's 4:30. Morning. It's 4:30. Morning with phone calls.
You're not supposed to pause at the end of lines. You're supposed to pause at periods in poetry. You know that,
cheap.
right?
A foreign car. Maybe bingo. Lucky night. Something says it smells bad. What?
The worst thing I've ever seen.
Let this man teach English.
He can teach it. He just can't contribute.
Good God. And how did Aria get anything like these feelings? I'm sorry, Fitz. We find your poem wanting.
Morning with phone calls. It's deaf mute. Oh my God, our corgi has the zoomies. Oh, he wants to go outside.
Okay, let me open that one. Going to continue. Melissa sits alone in her house as a creepy POV shot of the outside of the window looms. She turns around and it's Ian. She's pissed because, I didn't answer your calls and I didn't want to go to coffee with you. And Ian says, he just wants to take, I didn't want to talk to you. He's like, I just wanted to take you out to coffee. As the 4 friends then round the corner with camping gear. Melissa goes to turn around and leave, and Spencer chases after her and stops her and says, hey, well, you should give him another chance. And Melissa's like, why? And Spencer's like, I'm just trying to do the right thing now. Melissa then begrudgingly agrees to coffee as Ian looks happily at Spencer. Aria asks why Spencer's doing that, and she says she owes Melissa. Spencer then comes clean to the remaining friends about Ren and about Ian. I didn't know she hadn't come clean to everybody about Ren. And Spencer says she even started seeing Ian after him and Melissa broke up. The friends all agree for Spencer not to tell Melissa, and then the news airs a story on Allie. We find out that they found a sweater at Toby's house that had Allie's blood on it, and there's a warrant out for Toby's arrest. Ari's freaked out that Allie was dating Toby, and they all agree that there can be no other person to be the older boy. Emily and Maya hang out, and Emily asks how she could be so wrong about Toby. Maya said Emily probably saw the good part of Toby, not the same one that killed Allie. Emily's phone rings and Maya answers for her, but no one responds on the other end other than breathing. Emily eventually grabs the phone from her and hangs up, and then she hears the door open and someone walking upstairs. Turns out to be your dad, and they hug and he meets Maya. Emily's mom then comes up, awkwardly looks at Maya, and asks her to leave because it's family time now.
It's so weird to me too, because what mom is like, you can't have your friend here?
Well, she already received I think we're supposed to know that she already received the letter.
Oh, I thought she got it in that scene where she's talking to her dad.
No, she has it.
It's already opened?
Yeah, I think she already has it at this point.
Okay.
Aria and Ella have lunch, and Aria talks about how Allie made them all believe that she hated Toby. Aria is excited to see that Ella has paint on her hands and that she's been painting again. Aria asks if her mom blames her for keeping the secret, and Ella wishes she told her but doesn't blame her, and they reconcile. Emily's dad asks how Emily's been doing with the news and about Toby and the homecoming situation. He says Toby is dangerous, and Emily's like, I guess. And then they talk about how Toby needs to tell the truth and how important the truth is. And Emily's mom hangs outside Emily's room listening to the conversation and opens a note that has Emily and Maya's pictures in it. Yeah, I was like, I think it's coming up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
Melissa tells Spencer she had a good time with Ian, and Melissa wants to squash their beef and asks how Spencer's doing. Melissa mentions how much Allie used to trash Toby, and Spencer says Allie played a lot of games. And Melissa, oh so delicately, puts, that's probably what got her killed. Smiles and leaves.
Allie's game's probably what got her killed.
Hmm.
Grimace. It was like a smile grimace and a walk away. And I was like,
it's bad.
oh.
Mm-hmm. Watch out for Melissa. Emily pulls up her car in the woods and goes to grab her duffel bag as Toby appears in the back seat and says he wants to finish telling her what he was going to. He wants to finish telling her what he was going to tell her at homecoming.
Is that our first Pretty Little Liars jump scare?
Like this of someone appearing in the back seat. I think we've had jump scares before.
Okay.
Of like people arriving at people's houses.
There are more. Don't worry. It's just gonna.
Toby mentions that September 1st was the day he ended it with Jenna. He felt terrible about what they were doing, but didn't know how to stop it because Jenna threatened to say that he was forcing himself on her if they stopped. Emily is confused that Jenna wanted to be with him, and Toby says that Jenna was and is in love with me.
That's why his tattoo says 9-1 free at last.
There you go. Piecing it together. Camp Mona is off to a great start as Aria and Spencer arrive and they get big ass goodie bags. There's massages, mini petties, bow dry bar, and mini bar. And we already discussed this, but worth hammering home.
You get a jacket that says Camp Mona on it too. Should we get
Yeah.
Camp Mona jackets to do the podcast in?
Yes. We should get Camp Mona jackets and t-shirts. It's so funny. Everybody's wearing hoodies. So that everybody
Yeah,
has
the
their
black
hoods up.
hoodies.
It's so funny later. Toby asked Allie to meet him the night she died to say thank you for getting him away from Jenna, but because of the accident. Emily asks about the sweater and why they met at Kissing Rock, and Toby's like, we didn't go anywhere. We met outside of Spencer's barn, not the rock, and that he gave his sweater to Allie because she looked cold. Allie left Toby and got in a car with some random guy, and Emily says he has to tell the police, and he said he can't because they're already watching him and they already want to arrest me. Toby says he's saying goodbye and that he has friends from reform school of where he's been staying at in all the wrong places.
Yeah, I went to a reform school for a year, so I have friends in all the wrong places. Says this boy with fluffy hair.
I know.
I was like, you just want to pet Toby.
Boy. Toby says that he needs Emily to believe him and that he's going to be hiding out behind the church until his ride arrives at midnight. He says, very wisely, don't tell your friends because they'll call the cops. Emily then immediately tells Fitz and Aria. I was like, hilarious. Emily looks pensive and then cut to. Aria says they have to tell the police. Yeah. As Hannah calls to check in. Hannah says she'll be watching them from the woods as she packs her gear. Aria tries to tell her about Toby, but the service cuts out. Aria then receives a text from A that says, you found my bracelet. Now come find me. Spencer says they probably have to go find him where they found the bracelet. And recites the exact number of steps it took them to reach there previously.
Love that for her.
Yep. Mona interrupts them to call Aria and Spencer over for their blowouts, and Spencer takes off alone to find A. Aria receives a text from Fitz saying that he needs to see her. My next note, Hannah roughs it in the woods. It's just Hannah getting into position.
You talked about why Mona uninvited her, right?
Yes.
In the liposuction?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Spencer returns with a bracelet that says Jenna on it and a note that says you're just as in the dark as Jenna, looking for me in all the wrong places. As they scan around Camp Mona. Ashley drives home and Byron sees her and asks for a ride. Ashley freaks out and says, no, will not be getting you a ride home, and I will not be heading home, and that I'm late. And Byron looks worried, and the camera pans from Ashley driving to a duffel bag full of cash.
I'm not going home. Don't ask questions. Goodbye.
Toby sits practically out in the open near the church, and the police somehow find him there and go to arrest him. Spencer accesses her mind palace while roasting a marshmallow and has an epiphany. She looks around the camp, sees Emily, and tells her they need to go to the right place. Right, with a W, which is a playground. Hannah camps and scouts alone in the dark. She sees a car pull up. Spencer and Emily are off on their own, finding the playground. That was along like the trail path, and then they reach there as it's an empty playground as a swing moves ominously. Hannah sees someone go to the car, and then the camera moves inside the car, and we see it's Aria meeting Fitz. Fitz says he doesn't blame Aria for being angry with him, and he should have fought for her. Oh no, we're backsliding fast. Fitz said that he was looking for another job for her, and that if he resigned from Rosewood, that they might have a chance. But then he saw her with Noel.
It's weird
decided...
that like he thinks that like him being the teacher is the number one problem.
Yep.
It's interesting to me.
If
how
if we didn't have this relationship and I was just a teacher at another school, then maybe. But then he saw her with Noel and decided he was being selfish. Aria calls him a jerk. You can't choose how I feel. Fitz says he was wrong and please forgive him. Aria says no. He instead moves closer and goes, please forgive me.
It's here.
It's like the inch away from his face.
He's
Or
like,
her face.
Forgive me. And she's like, no. And he's like, forgive
me. It's so gross.
Forgive me.
I know. It's really creepy.
Is that terrifying?
And then, yes, it is.
Thank you.
And Aria kisses him. And then Hannah sees it, which I put with a big exclamation point. Very excited about this. Spencer and Emily find a tree with a carving of a heart in it. It says Alison plus Ian. Hannah sees another hooded figure approach the car and tries calling Aria. But Aria doesn't answer. The hooded figure then writes in the dew on the back of the window that says, I see you. Hannah texts Emily. I know who SOS. I know who A is. Meet me at the parking lot. Hannah arrives at the parking lot and sees a hooded figure dash off as Spencer, Emily, and Aria are coming and approaching her. Hannah goes to run after the hooded figure, but then a car drives up out of nowhere and runs her over. Phone goes off to Aria that says she knew too much, signed by A. Then we get the scene cuts to a laptop playing the Alley video, but we see a part of the video that was not shown earlier. After she says, I know you want to kiss me, the camera turns and pans around. We see that it's Ian. Episode end.
Dun, dun, dun. Okay. So, number one, we have already addressed this. Camp Mona, best party of the year. Better than
Yes.
Noel Khan's cabin party.
Yeah, absolutely.
10 out of 10.
Put it in the dust.
I think maybe we should talk about Toby's hiding spots.
Really bad.
How did he get in the back of Emily's car?
Yeah, how did he get back in the camera of Emily's car, and why is Emily arriving there alone? They must have all just drove separately.
Yeah.
But yeah, when did he get there? Like, people are watching for him on that street.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Yeah, sure.
He's wanted
Uh-huh.
in more ways than one.
And it
Even
was
before he was arrested.
wasn't it a brand new Toyota Corolla?
Oh yes, that was the brand new Toyota Corolla she won at homecoming.
Yeah.
Just didn't see him in the back seat. Also, her duffel bag was like in her like glove box. It was up front.
It was up front under the glove box, I thought.
Under the glove box.
Like on the
I
ground.
thought she pulled it out of the glove box. I was like, damn.
That'd be so
These
funny.
Toyota Corollas really have a lot of room. But yeah, I don't know how Toby got there. But the explanation, I was wrong. That he was with his friends from reform school makes sense. There's a few things I was wrong about this episode, actually, about Toby.
What do you mean?
I was right that he was back.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong that he had a relationship with Allie. Let's not get those confused yet. Oh, I lost my train of thought. Oh, that he didn't have a relationship with Allie, and it's very funny that they put that into this episode. At least like as far as we know now, he did not. But the stuff with Jenna is
it's like
pretty bad.
Yeah, because it's like it wouldn't have been like they made something that wouldn't have necessarily been an issue based on consent.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what I mean? Like it was like, oh, we had this thing and it was fine, and then I decided it was not okay, and she did not.
Right, and that she was gonna pull the
pretend
sexual assault. Which
I'm gonna cry.
Really bad.
Yeah, exactly. Which isn't like a.
Listen to our 3 and 4 seasons on Veronica Mars to learn more about that.
We have opinions.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
not as bad as that, but
So yeah.
But there's something else I was wrong about too.
Being smart enough to not hide in front of the church.
Nah, we'll come back to it. I'm sure it'll pop up.
I'm sure you'll remember. Yeah, that he was with his friends from reform school makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh, staying with his family was what I had thought. I had vocalized on the episode.
Yes. No. I love that Toby just like needs to be earnest and honest with Emily.
Yes, that's his only ally.
Mm-hmm.
That's his only friend.
Mm-hmm.
Oof. Other than the ones from reform school.
Mm-hmm. I don't think we get to meet those.
I wish we did.
I don't remember though. We might get one.
Yeah.
Who's to say? What do you think Toby's guilty of?
Guilty of?
Yeah, do you think he did anything?
No.
Wrong place, wrong time is the only thing he's guilty of.
I think people are just think that he's done more than he's done because he took the fall.
Mm-hmm.
And he was happy to take the fall because it got rid of Jenna.
And it got him out of a specific scenario that was even worse.
Yes. Good God. Weird stuff with step siblings and stuff there too. Eesh.
Yeah, which it's like I don't think that's like considering like the ages, you know what I mean? Like that's not like that bad as a concept. It's the manipulation tactic of it because like they're not biologically related. You know what I mean? Like I'm like whatever. Like
still weird.
It's weird, but like we don't know when their parents got together and like they used to do that stuff on oh my God, what's the show? Gossip Girl, where it's like the couple was dating and then the parents were both single and they met. And so then it's like, you're like, oh.
They were doing that on Riverdale.
Yeah. Yeah. FP and Jughead and Betty and all of them. Yeah. Like, you're like, okay, like that's odd, but it's not like.
Yeah, it's a teen trope for sure.
Yeah. It's like we didn't get enough adult characters.
Exactly.
So we
have to pair them up.
Everyone sleeps with everyone on Pretty Little Liars is kind of the name of the game though. But yeah, I also noticed like the Jenna bracelet. I was like, man, somewhere some gas station is making a lot of money off A who keeps buying these bracelets.
Because Allie had made those for everybody. All those bracelets for everybody, right?
Did you notice that I just put this together? I didn't remember this the first time. You know how when Jason gave them the bracelet of Allie's, it was in that little bag? Mm-hmm. It was the same type of bag that Jenna's bracelet was in.
Oh,
because I always think of those as rosary bags. Because like they're the little like pouches that like usually like I feel like every time I got one of those, it had a rosary in it.
Interesting.
And I was like, huh. I don't know if that has anything.
Damn, Jason.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I did think that was interesting.
That is an interesting one.
So we've got that. We've got Toby. I also love Toby's moody boy standing outside of the building. Like he just looks like fluffy,
he's got the leather jacket.
Fluffy hair and moody. Okay. Ian.
Yeah.
What about him?
I know.
What do you think?
Oh yeah, awful person already. Like we get big time stuff.
You know, he was such a nice boy in Luck of the Irish.
Exactly. I mean, you'd be a little scarred after what happened with your smart house. But
that's fair. You know what? I didn't think about that. That boy's been through some trauma.
Exactly.
Some decom trauma.
Seriously. But yeah, no, he's a creep on multiple fronts for multiple younger girls too.
Yeah, and they let him coach at the high school.
And that answers our question, what he was doing at Allie's funeral. Well, not completely. I guess we'll find out. But at least we like know that there's a connection there. And also that he's like been manipulating Melissa. And it's also good to have this concrete thing because like Ren didn't even do this. But like kissing Spencer and do the makeout thing, like as he leaves, it's like a good like happy thing. It's like, yeah, this guy doesn't give a shit. This guy has no remorse.
No, he's got no remorse.
So I'm wondering why he's like, what about Melissa that he's like called back to?
Or is it Melissa's proximity to Spencer?
Yeah, potentially.
Why did Spencer stop seeing him?
Right. Because we don't know enough about him. We have not gotten much time with him over these 2 episodes at all, other than he's this person that is now this new target for like information. So we kind of we only get like a little bit next episode, but we really have no idea who he is as a person, other than like infidelity and Chase's young girls.
Yeah. So not great traits to have.
No, definitely
So far,
not.
Ian has no redeeming qualities.
No, exactly.
And
Ian's the worst.
like he's not doing it in the same way Ren is. Where's the accent?
Exactly. Yeah. Where is Ren? Ren's just going to college. I guess him and Spencer don't talk no more.
She's got Alex.
That's true.
Where I don't know where Alex was in this episode.
Well, he couldn't go to Camp Mona. It's a girls only event, as Noel said.
That's fair. But Noel was there. Let's talk about Noel.
No, yeah. We find that out next episode.
Aria doesn't see him at the end of this one. Oh, it's the next one. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So we could put a pin in on Noel there.
Fair enough.
Yeah, him. Yeah, okay.
How do we feel about Noel at the end of this episode, though? We just feel like he's just like, eh.
He's just a fine guy.
Yeah, he's just nice.
He's just same thing. Yeah. No, he doesn't have too much going on in this one.
Hannah gets all the good dirt first.
Yes. I was like, yes, Hannah's there with her binoculars out in the woods by herself. Also, it's hilarious when she's first entering the woods. She's like visible from everybody else. She's like maybe like 10 feet back.
Yeah.
And people don't see her. But yes, fantastic. I love that she like finds out all these things. And when we get the reveal that Spencer is telling the rest of the friends about Ren, it's like, oh, Hannah knew about that as well. So she's first on the call sheet for figuring out people. For holding on to their secrets. She
is. And
Emily too.
Yeah. She knew everything.
Yeah. And also A knows that. So it's like, well, better feed this to Hannah first.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, because A doesn't want the secret to be completely out because then she's controlling people and she knows Hannah will play along with her friends and be loyal that
Protect
way.
her friends.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Hannah's exceptionally loyal.
Yeah.
If you were going to put her in a Hogwarts house, she's a Hufflepuff.
There you go. Exactly. It's fantastic. Yep. Way to go, Hannah. I'm glad they put her there on the grassy knoll.
I love that. Okay. So we've got that. We've got Toby. We don't want to talk about Noel yet for obvious reasons. So at the end of this episode, who did you think Hannah thought was A?
Oh, I thought it was she was thinking it was Ian.
Fair enough.
Because wait, no. She didn't see the tree. So I think she probably thought it was yeah, I was assuming it was going to be Ian.
Yeah, that
and
was
that she saw Ian.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting that the hooded figure was going to be Noel on the next one. So that was where my money was because we got Ian on the tree and on the video.
Mona breaking up with Hannah, just rude. Right. On her birthday?
Yeah, exactly. Feeling a little high on her own supply there.
Yeah. I didn't love that. I like how she called the other Pretty Little Liars the others.
The others, yeah.
The others. Also in the first scene where Aria is talking to her dad and they're doing laundry, she is wearing a tie as a belt.
Interesting.
I couldn't figure it out. We didn't get enough time on it for me to really think about it, but I have some questions to the costume department about
how this worked.
How that worked, because was that a belt that just happened to look like a tie, or a belt made out of a tie?
Or was tie material?
Or was it a tie that was made into a belt? I have questions.
Yeah.
You want to kiss me. That's all that plays in my head because of this now.
Because of the video?
Yes. Well, and if you watch the Mike's Mike recap, he repeats that repeatedly at the throughout his first, because he does the first 3-ish seasons in his first part. You get a lot of "I know you want to kiss me."
I'm sure we've gotten it already since it's been introduced. I think at least once every episode.
Yeah, more than once every episode for sure. Any other thoughts from this episode? Emily's mom and the photos of her and Maya. Real weird about it, but we'll get more about it later.
Yeah. So wanted to bring up Ashley's crimes. Actually literally stealing from old women. I lost it. This woman is just like, oh, my sister died, so I've got all this cash. Do you think the sister just had all the cash underneath the floorboard or something? But I thought it was hilarious that she's
I'm wondering if the bank can't write you a check for it.
I don't know.
But you think they could just transfer it into your account?
Exactly. But she's putting cash in a safety deposit box. So that's her go bag money that Ashley is stealing.
Yeah, except that it's not really go bag ready because you have to go to the bank and get your money out if you got to go.
But you don't have to pull it out of an account, so they don't want to be traced.
True.
That's the go bag. because it's cash.
I'm thinking like you have your go bag on you, so you can go.
Oh, yeah. Then you'd have to hide it at your house.
I love-
Maybe Mrs. Potter doesn't have good security there. At her
I love
house.
Mrs. Potter because like this woman is randomly in like every TV
Yes.
show you've ever seen.
As like an old woman, and they go out of her way to make her be even more like quote unquote old woman by like grabbing all the butterscotch out of the dish.
She's like, can I have the butterscotch candies? And she takes them all.
Right.
I love that. It's a 10 out of 10.
So funny. We are glossing over one Mr. Fitz.
Oh, I forgot.
Yeah, so he
There's so much to unpack. I couldn't even
Right.
picture it.
who is like acting cold to her, like he's like, I don't even care about you anymore, Aria. It's fine.
Yeah, if you want to make out with high school boys, you should make out with high school
and then
boys.
At the end, he was like, I was gonna do the right thing, and I was gonna let you go, make out with high school boys. But then I decided I needed to fight with you because I'm listening to your advice. You, the 16-year-old that I'm dating.
That I also told like wasn't old enough to make her own decisions, so I made them for you, and now I'm like, I was right, or I was wrong, and you were right, and I hate it.
It's so bad. And the crazy, we mentioned this earlier, but the crazy thought process to be like, well, if I'm a teacher at a different school, then it'll work. Hi, everybody. This is my former student and partner, Aria. She's 16 and goes to Rosewood. Like, that wouldn't change anything. He would just be farther away.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be, like, good. But in terms of them having a
For
relationship...
safety.
Exactly. Yeah, give her some distance. Jesus.
Maybe she needs space.
She doesn't know what she needs.
No, she's a child.
Uh-huh.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's really bad. It's really bad. It continues to be bad. It's head scratching. Yeah, this part of the setup and then the part where a hooded figure comes and writes in the thing, that's great. Good stuff. Like, I like that it's like starting to be like threatening now.
Mm-hmm.
As like a bad thing that like could get out. It's like, all right, if we're gonna go down this path, this is the right, at least directionalist a little bit.
This is bad.
Threatening bad thing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If we're gonna take this road, we need to read all the signs.
Exactly.
It's bad.
And then my final thing was we're seeing a huge increase in the severity of A's actions.
Mm-hmm.
So more people are getting contacted.
Mm-hmm.
Well, okay, so talk about the car in the room. Literally gets run over.
She goes over the car too. Like, it was
Uh-huh.
so good. Who do you think's driving that car?
Okay. So, like, is it A or not?
Well, or yeah,
Do you think it
or
was Noel? Do you think Noel ran her over?
he was there.
I know, he could have.
I don't know.
And
who
then he
was
ditched
driving
the car and ran back? That's my best guess. My best guess is that it was Noel and that he's not A. And so A saw him and then piggybacked off that to, like, send the text. That'd be fantastic. Yeah, because then he's like at the camp later, and in the next episode he's like, yeah, I heard about there was a hit and run. I think maybe he freaked out. I don't know. But
what do you think or who do you think A is actually? I know you think that Hannah, at this point you thought Hannah thought it was Ian.
Yeah. I feel like I'm back to like square one of like maybe it's someone we don't really know yet.
Okay.
Or like know like super well about yet. I know that would include Ian, but I don't think it's Ian.
Okay.
Cause I think he's just evil enough, like on his own, to like not be like A. He's just like a really shitty person.
Fair enough.
And I don't think it's Noel because he's like white knighting around about like Arya in the next episode.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't have a good read on who it'd be anymore. This one kind of reset all my thoughts on A.
Let's go.
I guess it could still be Fitz. I guess he's still maybe my number one.
I think Arya would have recognized the car though.
Oh, right.
Oh, but I guess that's if you were thinking A ran him
actually,
over.
exactly.
Yeah. I guess we don't know that A was who ran Hannah over because I don't remember who was driving the car.
Well, that would be fun for us to discover. If we do.
If we ever
we do.
Isn't that great? You just
Yeah.
don't know what you're gonna learn.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go through some of our characters, like hot and cold feelings.
But before I just wanted to mention that. So apart from that, A is then also reaching out to parents now,
Mhm.
at like outside of like just Aria, like more, and also spreading rumors about Hannah. As far as we know, we don't know if she actually did get liposuction. She says no.
Yeah, the A told Mona that,
and no, it texted more people, or was it just Mona?
I think, and then Mona told everyone because she was mad
because-
at Hannah.
Yeah, Mona likes rumors and things.
Well, because when someone hurts her,
Right? Yeah, that's how she hits back.
Mhm.
I think that, and so it's just getting more intense. The amount of actions and what they're doing. And if we attribute the Hannah getting run over by a car to
yeah, well, we know who wasn't driving the car, and that's Jenna.
Yes.
Can't be Jenna. Okay, so let's go through a couple characters. How do we feel about them still? Jenna.
Oh,
we're on
yeah. A lot less fun. It's a lot less fun. There's all the problems we mentioned earlier.
Melissa.
Poor Melissa.
The next episode, we can dig into her a little more.
Still a menace, but poor Melissa. I mean, we mentioned that's probably what got her killed.
How do we feel about Allie?
Oh, probably same, like, like lukewarm, because it's like, oh, you were a menace, but like we're in over your head. Thought you were invulnerable, kind of thing, but also like had the death wish. So
did we get any Lucas in this episode?
No.
Okay, I was gonna ask about Lucas, but we'll save that for the next one.
That's all the next one.
How do we feel about Mona breaking up with Hannah for?
Yeah, I mean, just as like this like rich chaotic agent. Yeah, love Mona for it.
Love Mona for that.
She's the worst, and that's pretty good in my book.
Mona is an agent of chaos. I think that is a fair assessment so far. So far.
Yeah.
Cool. Who else? We know Ian. We've talked about Ian. We haven't seen Ren. We haven't seen anyone else's parents really. Byron was getting a coffee. That's all we know.
Good God.
Aria's brother's probably missing. Who's to say?
Exactly. Mike's still on the field trip.
Mike is still playing lacrosse somewhere.
Well, the permission slip was for them to be sent home, so he's stuck in limbo.
In like North Dakota. And Toby. How do you feel about Toby?
Love Toby. Poor Toby. I don't like him getting arrested,
We got no Sean in this episode, huh?
No Sean. And we don't get him in the next episode. We only get him name dropped.
All right. Well, any final thoughts on this episode? The mid-season finale of season 1 of Pretty Little Liars.
I was assuming this is going to be a thing where Hannah forgot who A was. Or
like wakes up and is like...
That's not the case.
Yeah.
But,
there's no concussion trope here.
Exactly. That's what I thought might happen, but nope.
Yeah. I forgot to pay attention to what type of car runs Hannah over. I probably should have.
Oh yeah, I didn't either.
Have to look that up.
I mean, it's like a coupe, like similar to like a Toyota Corolla.
Got it.
Kind of size.
I was like,
I do know that.
I don't know what a coupe is. I know what a coup is. A coup d'etat. I don't think that's applicable here.
Nope.
It's not a car thing. Cool. Shall we go into episode 12?
Yeah, that's 11.
Yeah, that's what I meant. I'm skipping to next week. I know you didn't watch episode 12. Let's talk about it.
Exactly.
I don't know the plot.
I'm a big fan of this episode title. Episode 11, Moments Later.
Which is ironic because it's like 3 months.
Exactly 4 months later. We open on a car driving down the road. And the driver stops the car, and we see it's the hooded figure, and they run away into the woods. Ashley drives home and is pulled over by the police as she zips her purse as the cop comes over and then tells her that Hannah was in an accident. We see Hannah loaded into an ambulance and driven away, and the friends all agree to drive to the hospital. Aria stops as they all go to leave and notices Noel staring her down in a Camp Mona sweatshirt.
May I interrupt really quick with the date difference between the two?
Yes.
So yeah, the season 1 mid-series finale, August 10th, 2010. Moments later, January 3rd, 2011.
Ooh, that's brutal.
That's so long.
That's really long. Oh God, that sucks. The friends are all in the waiting room talking on their phones. We assume to separate parents, but they're talking about Hannah's situation. Ashley arrives along with Lucas in the background. It goes unremarked upon. Ashley tells them that Hannah has broken her legs. Ashley tells them all that Hannah has broken her legs and ankle and bruised her ribs, but she's going to be okay. Ashley says the cops found a car that was stolen, but they didn't catch the driver. Spencer says they need to look for Toby, but Ashley's like, he was actually picked up by the cops earlier.
Spencer's always like,
Sucks
it's
to you.
Toby.
Yeah, we get it back around. Aria even calls her on that later. It's fantastic. Ashley walks away, and Emily stares down Spencer and says Toby isn't A. They all wonder what A's motives are and if Hannah is safe here in the hospital and what they should do about A. Spencer returns home and sees Melissa, and Melissa asks if she's okay. Spencer confides in Melissa, and then Ian appears in the doorway with his shirt unbuttoned and asks if Hannah's okay. Ian then tells Spencer he's canceling Monday's practice, which is then we learned it's like, oh, he's her coach.
Yeah, also, like, she's having a moment, and, like, you probably need to inform the rest of the team, so, like, why don't you, like, send an email?
Right. But he's like, no, this is the best time to tell you.
Let me tell you right now, Spencer, we're also canceling Monday's practice.
I was just waiting for your sister with my shirt unbuttoned, but Monday's practice is canceled.
Don't ask questions.
Hannah wakes up and sees her mom and asks her about her friends. Ashley says, Sean and Lucas were both here visiting you at the hospital, and what's up with this Lucas kid? And she's like, he's the guy from yearbook. Hannah says she needs to call all her friends, but Ashley says it can wait. Fitz and Aria review the note. Okay, let me set this up. They are in the middle of downtown, like Rosewood. Like this is like people are out, the people are shopping, and they're meeting up and talk about the note on the back of the car, back of Fitz's car. Oh, it's in broad daylight. It's hilarious. And Fitz is like, I didn't notice the note until like later this morning. Someone must have wrote it like last night and saw us. And Aria's like, no, I don't think that's what happened. We have to forget this.
Okay, I do have a question though. So let's say you're Mr. Fitz. You teach English, right? Your students probably like write things and turn them in.
Right.
Would you not look at that and wonder if you knew that handwriting from one of your students? Would you not try to match that to
That's really smart.
someone you knew first?
Yeah, that's really smart.
Apparently Fitz is not, but I guess we knew that because
Exactly.
he's dating a child.
Uh-huh. It's not good.
No. But he doesn't go,
And meets up with her in broad daylight in this small town where everybody talks.
There's like less than 7,000 people in this
Good
town.
job. Yeah, good job being covert.
He's so smart.
He is.
That's why he wrote such a great poem.
Exactly. B26 is my favorite. Emily has breakfast with her family. Emily's mom says Toby is better locked up, which Emily doesn't like. Emily then gets a text and goes to reach for it, but her mom gets mad about like no phones at the table. You know the rule. And Emily's like, it could be about Hannah. And it is. It's a text from Ashley to say, hey, come see Hannah.
Yeah, Hannah did get hit by a car last night.
Yeah, I think there could be a moratorium on like the no phones at the table policy.
Mm-hmm.
The friends all gather at the hospital and Hannah dismisses her mom. Hannah says that A is Noel. Hannah says she saw Noel leave a message on the car. And that someone got into the car and, you know.
Yeah, Noel left an A message. And it was on a car. And they're like, whose car? And
right. And Aria's then like, well, I was meeting up with our teacher, Fitz, and we have a relationship to hook up. And all the friends are super shocked about her dating teacher. Rightfully so. Hannah feels weird about fixing her up with Noel for multiple reasons now.
Yeah.
Aria then mentions that no one saw who was driving the car. And then they get a knock at the door, and it's Noel. So Aria like peeks over it and doesn't like fully open it and says, oh, Hannah just fell asleep and let's talk in the hall. And they go out into the hall. Noel says he heard it was a hit and run, a Fitz and run. That's what I almost said. Noel,
a Fitz and run, you say?
And Noel then mentions to Aria that they need to talk and please call me. And Aria asks where he was yesterday. And he says, hanging with Sean.
I was at Sean's house last night. We were having a sleepover.
And then Aria goes back to her friends and is like, Noel just lied to me about where he was last night. Emily's parents hang and catch up on their couch. ask how long Dad will be back. Then Emily's mom mentions that it's better for Emily when he's around, and that Emily's really confused right now. And Dad's like, well, if you need her to tell you something, just ask her. She'll tell you the truth. Hannah wakes up and has a flashback of the accident. The hospital door then opens to Mona arriving, waving a right bra to declare peace between them.
Everyone's peace flag is a white bra, right?
Exactly.
A nice, I think it's a French white bra.
She says whatever
Like a
style
designer
it is,
or something.
Yeah. Mona's like, I feel kind of guilty for like uninviting you, and Hannah's like, oh, it's okay, and she's like, oh, okay, good, I don't feel guilty. And the two bury the hatchet. Love Mona. Aria asks Emily and Spencer about the tree carving. Emily says Ian was with Melissa last night, so he couldn't be the driver, and that leaves only Noel. And Aria's like, well, I don't want to believe that. Spencer, you like flipped so fast from Toby. Remember when Toby was your suspect? Let's go back to that. That was a fun time.
Yeah, like also Noel might just be mad because like I was dating him and
right. Mm-hmm.
He's got a reason to be like riding on the back of Fitz's car.
Yeah, for multiple reasons. Spencer says Aria needs to follow up on what Noel saw.
Go put yourself in danger, babe.
Exactly. Hannah's sleeping in her hospital bed as the door opens ominously, and then a figure steps in. It's Lucas. He kisses her on the forehead and then leaves. Hannah wakes up confused as he leaves and looks out.
There's a smooch and run. Okay, so forehead kisses to me aren't that like weird. Like I'm like, oh, like I would kiss one of my friends on the forehead. But like
it's a weird they aren't those types of friends.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a weird breach of
Uh-huh.
privacy there.
I don't know. Like when someone's kissed me on the forehead before, I don't always know like what type of friends we are.
Yeah, but if like you were like sick in the hospital, he would have to come to the hospital. He came to the hospital at night and then like sneaks in quietly and kisses you on the forehead.
Yeah, it is a little weird. It doesn't say anything.
Exactly. It's just a weird
Not
thing
like
to do.
Get well soon.
No. Hannah wakes up, especially because she's sleeping, as far as he knows.
Yeah, kiss and run is a little weird.
Yeah. Hannah wakes up in the morning to Ashley being there. Hannah says, you can move me out of this private room and save money. Ashley's like, no worries. The bank and I reached a short-term accommodation and that they're gonna be okay. Don't ask. Aria plays the keyboard in music class as Noel comes in. Noel says, hey, you didn't call me, and asks about Hannah and if the police caught the driver. Aria asks Noel if he saw anything. Noel asks who told her that he was at the campground. She didn't ask that. Aria says she saw him as Hannah went into the ambulance. Noel said the note was supposed to be a joke, and then he followed her. Noel says he saw it all and asked what Fitz did to get her into the car.
No, the joke was him being there, that he was going to be like the creepy guy in the woods, like because there was all these girls camping and he was going to be like making scary noises outside of their campground and scare them. And that was the joke.
Really funny joke when you do it alone, Noel.
Uh-huh. And then he saw her leave, and so he followed her to make sure she was okay. And then she got in a car with Fitz, and so like, what is he doing to you?
Yeah, I see the red flag billowing in the wind. But then he kind of
not a white bra.
Exactly. But then he kind of makes up for it by saying he saw it all. And what did Fitz do to get you into his car? And I'll go with you to the principal and we can talk about this together. Aria's like, no, it's not like that. Keep quiet. And Noel promises to keep quiet. Emily is on the phone and asks for Agent Cooper and asks if Toby is allowed visitors. Jenna hears a conversation and says he doesn't want to see her. And if he did, she wouldn't let him. Emily says she didn't tell the police. And Jenna says she made him run away and they found the sweater because of you, Emily. Jenna says she's not going to let anyone come between them again. And Jenna says she can't imagine why everyone thinks Emily's the sweet one.
Mm-hmm.
Hannah has a dreary wake up in the hospital. It's kind of like gauzy on like the camera filter. And then sees Allie there in a candy striper uniform. Allie asks if she missed her. Hannah asks what happened to her after when she left the barn. Allie says, you already do know. The four of you combined remember, and you know more than you all remember more than you think you do. Hannah asks where she went to meet a boy and if it's Noel. Allie laughs and is like, no. Hannah Lol. Hannah asks for the truth, and Allie says, you think truth is like pure? It's going to help like set you free. I told my truth to the wrong person at the wrong time. And that you should like watch out.
And that's how I ended up where I am now.
Yeah. Allie says to do something about A. That bitch is genuinely getting on my nerves.
Yeah, Allie's like, I should do something about A because that bitch is genuinely getting on my nerves.
Oh,
like I should do something.
I thought she said, Hannah, you should do
No,
something.
I thought she said I should do something about A.
Oh, I see.
As in, like, I should take care of it for you.
I thought it was like, Hannah, do something about this. Okay, so we'll get into this more because that was, I think, primarily about my reason for it being more of a dream sequence than anything. But we'll put a pin in that. Aria sees Fitz in class. Aria says they have to be really careful moving forward. Aria asks if Fitz would go back in time. Would like he still talk to her in the bar? And Fitz is like, I have thought about that. And we would just go back to being, you know, like teacher and student, just as boring as that is. And he's like, Aria, is that what you want? She's like, no, I wouldn't go back in time. And he's like, me neither. Only time for us to go forward together. And then cut to Emily asking Aria if she told Mr. Fitz about Noel. Aria says his name is Ezra, and Emily's like, well, I think only you can call him that. I can't go around calling my teacher Ezra. Lucas visits Hannah in the hospital. Hannah says, hey, Lucas, you don't need to keep skipping school to come see me. And he's like, I told the office I'm doing community service. It's all good. Hannah then tries to gently talk to Lucas about just being friends. And did you come into my room last night and kiss me on the forehead? I've been a little loopy on drugs. Lucas is like, were you surprised I'd like try and kiss you? And Hannah's like, I thought we were like just friends. And Lucas gets mad and Hannah's like, I'm just telling you the truth. And Lucas storms off pissed.
Would you like to dig into the Alison thing or do you want to wait till the end? Because I looked up on the wiki and I think you're right.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll just do a clarification and then we can talk more about it later.
I think it says Hannah has a painkiller-induced hallucination as our favorite troublemaker, donned in a candy striper outfit, drops subtle hints about her disappearance that fateful night. Hannah tries to ask what happened, but all Alison will say is that the four of them combined already know the truth. She says she finds A to be a bitch and tells Hannah she needs to do something about her. So I'm assuming Hannah needs to do like by saying she needs to, or unless she's saying Allie's saying she needs to do something about her. I don't know. Okay. So I think maybe it is ambiguous, or I'll take it the way you took it.
Okay. You can come back around to it.
She also says it's dangerous for her to come, but did it for Hannah. Worried about her being in the hospital. After she leaves, Hannah spots a styrofoam cup near a bed with a berry-colored lipstick stain on the rim, matching the exact shade of lipstick Alison was wearing during her visit.
Perfect. Yeah, that's good clarifications there. All right. Emily talks to Maya on the phone, says things are on hold and that she misses her, but then sees her dad in the door and says, I gotta go. Dad says he got a call from his friend that said Emily was asking that's like down at the station that Emily is asking to visit Toby. And why would he want to do that? And Emily's dad is like, what's got you all jumpy? And like, I'll take care of it. And just like, let me know if you need help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And he can see that she's afraid of something. Emily says she's afraid of her parents. And he asks why. And Emily tells him, I'm gay. And he looks stunned. Mm-hmm. Spencer and Aria talk about Aria meeting Fitz. Excuse me, the first time in the bar. Spencer then semi co-signs the thing. It's like, it's really weird, but also really hot.
Self-destructive and hot.
Uh-huh. Of course Spencer would think that.
Yeah, I mean, look at her track record.
Exactly. Spencer takes Aria to the tree carving and finds that the entire tree is gone. And there's even like fresh wood shavings on the stump. Emily's parents talk about Emily's sexuality in the living room in a very open house. Mom asks, why wouldn't Emily tell us? And Dad said, Emily's afraid of us. And Mom hands him a note and says she's afraid of whoever sent this. She then says that, how are we going to fix this? And the dad's like, well, you can't just like, this isn't something you can just like fix.
You're like, it's who she is?
Yeah. And Emily's mom says it's wrong. And someone is making her do this. Whoever's sending the note is making her act this way and behave this way. And her dad's like, well, hey, let's not say this. Like, let's not do that. Let's keep things in perspective. And Emily's mom is like, we're just going to let her ruin her life. You used to have like principles and things, like she can't be doing this. Like I thought you were like on my side pretty much.
I hate it.
And then Emily's dad is like, well, at least she's alive and healthy after all the things I've seen overseas.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, she's not pregnant or on drugs, so like bare minimum. Totally. But like also like I guess like Pam could teach a masterclass on homophobia as a parent.
That's her name?
I think her name's Pam, right?
Got it. I don't know if we've gotten a name. So that's why I've been writing mom and dad.
Pam and Wayne.
Pam and Wayne. Okay, good to know. Yeah, we'll put a pin in that real quick. I'm almost finished with the episode. Spencer and Aria arrive at Spencer's house, and Spencer's like, why is there champagne in the fridge? And then Ian comes in and grabs the champagne from Spencer, and he's like, hey, we should celebrate. Come on outside. Spencer's like, why did you cancel practice? And Melissa walks in a wedding dress and is like, well, we eloped. And Spencer's like, this is what I want. This is what this is what I want. And our parents don't know yet, but Spencer, can you be in my corner on this one and really help out? I would really appreciate that. Aria is sitting there freaked the fuck out and is just like, what just happened? Fitz sits alone in his classroom after school in the dark and goes to leave, and we see Noel around the corner following him. Emily and Aria catch up about Emily coming out at the hospital. Spencer then tells Hannah about the tree being gone, and Spencer thinks that maybe they're dealing with more than one person, that maybe A and the killer are two different people. Aria says, Aria then looks at Hannah's cast and is like, wait, who's coming here? And she's like, I don't know. What do you mean? And there's a signing on it that says, sorry about losing my temper. My bad. A. It's like a very like nice note, but it's signed from A, so it's ominous. It's just like, oh, sorry about that.
You're like, sorry, I lost my temper. I didn't mean to hit you with that car.
I just want to torture you. Not like this, psychologically.
Yeah, like I honestly, like I meant to just like give you a little love tap with the car.
Exactly.
I didn't mean to go vroom, but I got a little angry. You made me mad. You knew too much.
Yeah, exactly. We then cut to a log fire burning with the piece of wood carved out of Alison and Ian. The end.
A fun little goof in the episode. Like, so it's written in condensation, the ICU.
Oh, yeah.
The next day it's written in the dust in the window.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, because it wouldn't stay there after, like, the rest of the day happened. So
I mean, unless he had dusty condensation.
Or unless, like, you know how, like, if someone really smudges it, then you can still kind of see it after the, like, the dew leaves. That's really funny.
I thought that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that brings us to the end of our return episode after our 4 months off.
That's right.
Whew. What a quick turnaround. Imagine watching the show and having to wait from August to January to find out if Hannah's dead.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's a brutal time period. But I guess at least I don't even know if the season finale would have been that long, because usually with like seasons, I guess with seasons it can be like 4 months. Yeah, that's still a brutal amount of time. Especially to like just finish off the first season too.
And that's just like the first 10 episodes. Okay, so do you think Noel is A?
No, I don't.
Do you think Noel is with A, or do you think Noel is moving on his own volition?
He's moving on his own volition, and he's just kind of a weird dude. I think
I don't think it's that weird to be like, I like this girl and now she's seeing a teacher, so I'm gonna
follow back one episode for him going to Camp Mona alone.
I didn't think about that.
That's weird. I can see like
I know boys that would have done that in high school.
Alone?
I don't know.
Here's the thing is like I can see the football team all going to Camp Mona because she's the popular one. So it's like, oh, here's the football guys. We're going to go mess with all our girlfriends and stuff.
Fair.
But he went alone.
Or was he alone?
Oh, that's true.
Maybe he's protecting someone.
So that's mostly why I say weird. And then also him.
I'm like, it's Sean. Sean was driving the car.
That's it. We figured it out.
He's mad because Hannah.
So instead of Hannah, you wrecked my car, and now I'm gonna wreck you. Feel the full force. My Corolla. No, his had a spoiler, and I don't think that one did.
Okay, well that's fair.
Could have a new car.
Yeah,
they are affluent.
Well, and he had probably to get a new one. It was totaled.
That's right. But and then Noel following around like Fitz. It seems amateurish in compared to what A is doing to psychologically torture people.
Fair enough. Yeah, Noel's not sophisticated enough to be A.
Right. His tactics as of yet. He could be doing other things to like get mad at Fitz. But, you know, right now just like he's like pulling an Archie Not to like back to Riverdale where it's
always
like
Riverdale.
I'm gonna use I could use my fist to like, you know,
Do the right thing.
exactly. I'm gonna do the very masculine thing.
Like
which
your
is
chest masculine.
Exactly, yeah. So I'm gonna follow you around and like pick up dirt on you.
Love it. So do you agree with Spencer that the killer and A are two different people for Allie?
I think it's a good theory. I kind of was bought in when she said that. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably right. And so
Thanks, Spence.
exactly. So like it could lead to a theory where A thinks that one of the girls killed Allie. So that's why that solves like our motivation issue of like we don't know what A is.
What A's motive is. Like why?
Exactly. And so it's probably someone that has because in a lot of ways, like that same love-hate relationship with Allie, probably, because Allie had that with pretty much everybody where she could make you feel good and tear you down, but, saw the better moments in it than the bad. So that's probably why she's targeting, or they are targeting people. I should stop using specific pronouns. Because we do not know.
We don't know.
So, yeah, I like that theory a lot. I hadn't thought about it that way before. And you know what, Spencer? Agreed. On this, we agree.
Hannah's hallucination of Allie?
Yeah, I definitely. So you had asked me whether I thought it was real or hallucination.
I don't know if it was this one or like ones later. Like the girls have hallucinations of her from time to time. Like someone will be on pain meds or whatever. I don't feel like that's a spoiler, but you know what I mean. Like this isn't a one-time thing. Mm-hmm. And I think every time that happened, people were like, "Then is Allie really dead?"
Right? Yeah, because you're saying so. Like at the time, this is like people talking online about it.
I don't know if this first season's one is one of those because I wasn't in that online community. So someone out there who can correct me.
But you
can
definitely see it of like people packaging that together because it is, we haven't seen a body again. Like we saw a body being wheeled out. We didn't see the face, like all that stuff. So we don't know if she is actually dead. There's a possibility that she couldn't be. So you can see that this could potentially not just be a hallucination. And that, it's just like she's like the gauzy look on the camera could just be like, just like sleep in her eyes and she's a little loopy from her pain meds. I think it's I fall in the hallucination camp.
Fair enough.
I can see why you could make an argument about it.
Yeah, because it's a soap opera. So like
exactly. Yeah, this would totally fit in there. And also the things about knowing what they remember seems like that's usually a telegraph of like that it's hallucination because she knows more about what's in their heads.
Got it. You're like, I know what you know.
Right. The like way of communicating that they potentially have like repressed memories, or they just maybe not repressed, like as in like I'm trying not to think about it, but like because of the trauma, they might not remember specific
or the alcohol
that could become unlocked. Yes. That's true. Like I think that's like a that comes up in TV before where it's like but if you just remembered it, and then things like clicking together. And I feel like that's usually coming from like the characters' brains.
So this is just afterlife Allie.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think it's like the ghost of Allie, or do you think it's just like a hallucination?
Hallucination. I don't know. We haven't pulled into Supernaturalville yet, so I don't know if that's a thing, but
at one point, but no, you know what I mean? Yeah, like exactly. I don't know.
Not the show.
Everything is the show and nothing is the show. You know how like when you start Riverdale, you're like, what a fun mystery. And then at the end, you're like, oh, there's multiple timelines so far.
Right.
Pretty Little Liars doesn't have multiple timelines that I know of.
Yeah, but
I mean, maybe the timelines don't line up. There's only supposed to be one.
Makes sense.
I don't know if it's a straight line, but yeah, love it. The anecdote of Hannah throwing up on the trampoline.
Oh my God, I completely glossed over that. So yeah, for people who didn't watch the episode that wasn't in my recap, Mona talks to Hannah about how I knew I wanted to be your friend after I saw you throw up on the trampoline, and then you shook it off like as if it was like
you took a bow.
Thing. Exactly. Yeah.
You did a backflip on the trampoline. You threw up, and then you because you knew everyone was staring at you. You got down and you took a bow.
And I was like, I'm so impressed. I knew I wanted to be your friend. Very funny anecdote of Hannah throwing up. Pretty gross. But
Love it.
props to her for taking a bow. We love it.
Mhm.
That even when Hannah wasn't cool, I guess we assume.
Mhm. Or when
That-
she was becoming cool. I don't really know when that was.
Yeah, exactly. But either way, Hannah's like, check it off. You can see it.
Hannah's a badass. Speaking of Hannah, Lucas.
Problem. Yeah. No, Hannah did it by the book. I see we're approaching something. I don't want that. I like our friendship. And he reacted bad. That's that's the best way you got to do it. And it's hard to do at that age too.
The best ships are friendships.
Exactly. And I understand like he's got a lot of hangups, his self-esteem and kind of he's like, well, like, she's more beautiful than me, like blah blah, like popular.
Yeah, she's cool and I'm not.
Exactly. So doesn't mean that he's right for being mad, but I understand where he's coming from at this point as a teenager. So
fair enough. Yeah.
I don't hold it over on him too much.
No, he reacted poorly, but it was information that was hard for him to take in.
Exactly.
He's a teenage boy.
Yep.
We don't give them a lot of life skills.
No.
Noel Kahn has quite a few though.
Exactly. Sneaking around, hoodies. But so good on Hannah and Lucas. Come on, man. You'll learn. And if you can't be friends with Hannah, then that's the way it is.
Then that's the way it is. Bye, Lucas. Any like nefarious things you think coming from Lucas though?
No.
Okay.
I think it's just that's very normal.
I'm trying to be suspicious of everyone for you.
I appreciate it. Yeah. Me just nope. The investigation people are like all the like on the cork board. There's all these red strings on Lucas. And I don't see it.
That'd be so funny.
Exactly. I don't know. But no, nothing on my end.
How do we feel about Mona now that she's waved the white bra?
Yeah, exactly. She's not fickle, but that's not the right term. Tempestuousness, I guess. So like she's up and down and aggressive. It's good. It's good stuff.
Okay. So
still like conceited and all that, but it's fantastic.
Melissa and Ian's elopement.
Ooh, bad. It's a good wrinkle. It's a very good wrinkle. I don't know what like Melissa's like idea of like, oh, this is like a great thing to do. She's obviously like recovering from like a pretty severe breakup where she was gonna get married, and
she doesn't know about Ian and Spencer.
No, or Allie.
Or Allie and Ian.
So there's poor Melissa just out of the.
I know she's not great, but like she's also not handed great cards.
No,
so it's hard to not like her.
Exactly. I like her a lot, and it's just really funny because she just has no conception of like the world and interacting with people in like a non-conceited way. But I like this as a setup of like, oh, and now the friends have to are gonna try and tiptoe around this while also being like, this is bad news, Melissa, without her like turning on Spencer and being like, you're lying and trying to break things up.
Yeah. Yeah, not good.
It's really bad. It's really bad. But the fun car crash sense of it, sort of way of in the drama way.
Yeah, it's good drama. It's good drama.
It is.
Anything else from this episode, good drama wise, that you want to dig into?
Let's see. Oh, Jenna going full like possessive lover thing is damn, like that drops Jenna like down a lot of steps for me.
If you were gonna rank characters, Jenna's now sinking.
Exactly. Jenna used to be great. But now that she's just like this manipulative, spurned lover, like I hate that. I really hate that trope.
She's so much better than that too, though. Like what a character up until this point.
Exactly. As like this, she's just trying to get back at them for, we can only assume, like blinding her. But now it's just like,
I'd be pretty pissed too.
Absolutely. But now that it's like turned to her motivation being like, Toby and I are meant to be together and like get out of the way, and then it also being her stepbrother just being this like weird gross thing on top of an already bad trope of the like, and then like all like we mentioned earlier, like the fake sexual assault stuff is bad.
That's the part that gets
gross.
me. That's the worst part to me. It's like
Yeah.
the idea that they are using that as a plot point.
Yeah, it just really shaves off anything interesting about her.
Which is unfortunate because like there's so much happening in this show that you don't need all of that.
No.
You could have left that entire plot point out.
Totally. I don't like that as a motivation for women because it's an easy way to just like make it about someone else.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't pass the Bechdel test as a concept.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's an easy way to make a character completely uninteresting because then they have no motivations other than the other person.
Mm-hmm. I think Jenna still has other motivations, but they're not currently presenting her in that way.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, and then the train wreck that is Emily coming out to her parents, which makes sense because they're both military, right? It's a military family.
And it's a small town and it's conservative and money.
Yes. And they're both conservative. God, yeah. Poor Emily. At least like in this, we get like the dad doesn't know how to respond, but is not trying to immediately be like, she's broken, but he's still not doing it well because he's also talking about, I don't like this either.
Yeah.
But he's
not supportive in any way, shape, or form.
No.
Emily is receiving no support.
Yes. And then her mom is practically getting her ready for conversion camp.
God, it's so awful.
Exactly. And then also saying that that it's someone else that's making her do this. It's not our daughter that's actually doing this.
Yeah, or so she's confused.
Yeah, like she's just she can't just be experimenting now. We're going to let her ruin her life because she's just experimenting. It's effective. If like, kind of like melodramatic way of approaching all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Pam
sucks.
Yes.
Wayne's not great, but Pam sucks.
No. At least Wayne is like, well, I'm trying to figure out my daughter, but it's the race to the bottom. It's
not good.
No, it's not exactly a high bar for him to clear in terms of supportiveness between them.
No.
I was surprised that she came out already to her parents.
I guess so. It is kind of early.
Yeah, I thought it would be like a later thing. That would drag on a little longer, and there would be more things around Maya and like Emily and
the
them
secrets.
Exactly tiptoeing around, like her meeting her dad, and there being some relationship strife about like, hey, you're not including me as much with your family. You need to be able to do that. But no, it just I was surprised that it already let off that they know that she's gay. And now we'll probably bar Maya from seeing her for that reason.
Do you think we'll get to keep Maya as a character?
I do.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like Maya.
Yeah, I do too. So, Emily gets put through the ringer in this episode.
Are we ever going to see Sean again?
Yeah, we have to. We're definitely going to get Sean again, at least for like a breakup. There's going to be more Sean. There's going to be some more Sean plot lines in this.
Okay, more Sean. What about
Not
Alex?
Until the end of the season will he be gone. Alex?
Did Spencer already learn enough about being a good person?
No, but are we interested? Are the writers interested in that anymore? No, we got other things to worry about. So I think Alex has like one more episode where there's like some reconcilable differences happening with Spencer's life at home with Melissa and Ian.
What about Noel? How long is Noel sticking around?
Oh, he's going to be around for a little while. If he's going after Fitz right now,
that's fun.
He's putting his nose into something and it's going to blow up.
I wrote Nosy Noel in my first set of notes. Nosy Noel.
Nosy Noel the mole.
He's like, what are you doing with Mr. Fitz here?
Mm-hmm. He's going to be around for a bit.
What about Fitz? Do you think jail anytime soon?
No.
Fair enough.
Like I said, it's going to be that up, down.
Lucas?
And then Aria and him are gonna get in something to where it's like gonna pass, like something bad's gonna break for them, and so that's gonna like either separate them or make them closer together.
Okay.
It's gonna be awful, and it's gonna probably have to do with Noel.
Is it gonna happen this season?
Yes.
Okay. I like this game. This is fun.
I know. Lucas will slowly fade out over the next few episodes, I think.
Mona.
Oh, Mona's around.
Mona's around.
Mona's around.
She's got to stir the pot, baby.
You need that. What is it? She mentioned something. She's like,
I won't ever believe another rumor that I didn't start.
Yes. Tells you everything you need to know.
Melissa obviously has to stick around. Can't really get rid of her. Do you think we'll see Mike again?
Yes. We'll just float by and be like, hey.
Yeah, there we go. Take him to lacrosse practice.
Exactly.
Any other major plot points from this episode that you feel passionate about?
No. This was a
nice return.
It's a slower episode than the last one, which is jam-packed full of stuff, which makes sense. I mean, they only have like a few kind of things they want to like kind of check in with characters on in terms of the revelations, and then there is that beginning of the episode of people reacting to learning new things and Hannah being in the hospital.
Who do we think wrote the A message on Hannah's leg?
Oh, like,
do you think it was A?
Yes, I think it was A.
Okay, I didn't know if you thought maybe it was like
someone else.
Yeah, like someone fucking with her.
Yeah, I thought that was really funny though. That it's just like, sorry, I lost my tipper. My bad.
Oopsie poopsie.
Yeah, it's not even like a clever thing of like, ooh, like next time I'll make sure it's like some other things.
Yeah.
But
nope. I'll tap the brakes instead of the gas, or something like that. Yeah. Love this. I love the Allie dream sequence. I love when we get like anything like that where then gives me like a okay, we have all the information we need as the audience. That's what Allie told us there. Amongst the four of you, you've got all the information. And I'm like, okay, so amongst the four of us, we've got all the information. Are they withholding anything from me?
Yeah, exactly. The show is, but they have not probably put together all their memories of the night.
We know that Ian was the boy at the kissing rock, but the girls don't know. They can guess from the tree stump.
Yes.
That is unburnt in the end of this. Who do you think cut down the tree?
A.
You think A cut down the tree? Do you think A wanted them to see it and then A cut it down?
No, that doesn't make sense. And especially also, I feel like, I don't know, it might be A. And it was almost interesting, like the legs in that shot too, like looked like a woman's like pantsuit. It was like kind of like flare leg, like pants.
I'm gonna let you in on a little sneaky secret. So I don't think they thought a lot about who was doing what and what outfit. Okay. And I think they intentionally try to throw people off with those. Like there's some rumors about that where it's like, well, that couldn't have been that person based on the build. And they're like, yeah, we didn't care.
Okay, got it.
But that doesn't mean that this one doesn't matter. I just, as we continue on the show, don't hold yourself super close to that.
Got it. Yeah, my gut says A.
Okay. That A wanted them to see it and then A cut it down?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you think Ian knows that's there?
Oh, did he know the tree stump's there?
The thing on the
I bet he does.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he had to. I think they were probably out in the woods together. But it was at the Kissing Rock, wasn't it? No,
it was at the park.
Yeah, never mind.
It was at right park.
Yeah. So yeah, I think he was there when it happened. The carving,
not the chopping.
Exactly.
All right. Any other guesses on who you think might be involved in this A plot?
No. Yeah, I've got nothing else.
Well, shall we plug? Or do you have anything else?
Oh, let's do the secret recap.
Oh yeah.
So Spencer is now completely out
Clean
in the
and
open
clear
with their friends. I was misattributing that because I thought everybody knew about Ren. They did not.
Sure didn't.
Yeah. Everybody knows about Emily's stuff, other than that she keeps trying to see Toby. They don't know that she keeps trying to see Toby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They know she's like fond of Toby, but they don't like know.
Right. The friends don't know that Mona got a text about Hannah's supposed liposuction.
They did, because remember she said Mona got a text from A.
She tells him that? I thought she
but she doesn't tell them what the rumor was.
Exactly.
So she doesn't know that it was about liposuction, but she knows it. They know that Mona got a text from A. I think those are two important distinctions.
They don't know about her supposed liposuction.
I wonder what that text said.
Is there anything else? They don't know about the previous Wilden stuff.
Yep. Ashley.
and the money situation at their house.
Yes, well, and that Ashley is a
A thief?
yeah, but Hannah doesn't know either.
Aria's secrets are now out in the open.
Her friends know that she's dating their teacher. She does tell. Oh, excuse me. She does tell Emily to call Mr. Fitz Ezra.
Yes, it's yep.
And you and Emily had the same reaction of no, he's Mr. Fitz to me.
Just like we can't call him that.
Yeah, you can call him that. I can't call him that.
And then Emily, or sorry, I already said no. Emily's in the clear now too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there you go. There's the secret roundup.
Secret roundup. Yeah. So no A guesses now. You can't pull anything.
I'm now adrift.
What are your thoughts on Ezra though? Do you think are there still odds he's A?
Yes.
What about you don't think Noel's A? Noel's an agent of chaos.
Mm-hmm.
Like doing it on his own.
I'd say Fitz, then Ian would be in the running. And then
So A's a man.
yeah. Yeah, I can't think of any women so far that I'd be like, oh, they're A. Yeah. Or Allie that is not dead and is messing with them for some reason.
Yeah.
That would be the only woman or like female coded character right now.
Yeah, but gonna be hard to fuck with them from the grave.
Yep.
Plugs. When we're not here doing this on this channel, you can find me doing life and career coaching on butreallythough.com. That was spelled THO. You can find links to all my other social media profiles from there. And on the YouTube video, Brenton can put my link tree in the description. That way you can find me.
And you can also find this podcast on YouTube for the video version at That Ends, or the audio version on any of your podcast platforms of choice.
You can look at our cute little faces.
Exactly. You can also find us doing Let's Plays over on my YouTube channel, Burger Discourse, and also catch just other blog writings I do whenever I get back to that on burgerdiscourse.com.
Woo. All right.
Oh, I always forget the sign off. It is.
We're here.
We're still here. We're going to find out everything.
Never believe you.
I know. I got to try it better next time.
Bye, friends.